Welcome to Musical Miles, the podcast where every mile has a melody and every song has a story. We're your hosts, Byron and Shanda Duffin, traveling the highways and backroads of America to sit down with songwriters, artists, and music makers who bring the soundtrack of our lives to life. From dive bars and listening rooms to legendary stages and music festivals, we go where the music is made, because every song has a journey and every artist has a story worth telling. So climb in, buckle up, and join us for another unforgettable ride. This is Musical Miles.
Well, it's a cold, cold winter, baby. It's a cold, cold winter. And I don't got you to keep me warm. But I'm south now, baby, child. I'm south now, baby. And when you're south, you can weather the storm. Well, I'm in Key West, baby, and I might just maybe be trying to get you off of my mind. Well, it's a cold, cold winter, baby, it's a cold, cold winter. But now I'm living on island time. Well, pour yourself a shot of tequila. Go ahead and wash down those feelings. Besides, the weather's just right. Well, you don't have to worry about me. Go ahead and pull yourself up a seat. It's 5 o'clock in my dreams. Oh, it's a cold, cold winter, baby. It's a cold, cold winter. But I'm doing fine. Oh, it's a cold, cold winter, baby. It's a cold, cold winter. But now I'm living on island time. Oh, I'm living, sweet daddy, I'm living. Oh, we're all living on island time.
You bet. Hey, Tennee Jones, welcome to Musical Miles Podcast.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's cool. We are in Key West, so that's a very appropriate song for the situation. We're here for the Key West Songwriter Festival, and Miss Shanda met you yesterday at the women's,
Women's
club. Yeah, it's a women's club, Key West Women's Club. And they had an all women's showcase. Mm-hmm. They had, I think, 9 artists. They had 3 sets yesterday, and we actually caught 2 of them. But Shanda met you and your mom over there. And is your mom part of the Key West Women's Club, or?
I think she is. I think she's part of it. She definitely does stuff for Women's Fest when it happens.
Sure.
So She has her law office here in Key West.
Okay, yeah, your
So-
mom's an attorney here in Key West, but you, as you were appropriately named, were born in Tennessee.
Yes.
And you, your mom moved down here in 2020, you said.
Mhm.
So right in the middle of the pandemic, or kind of on the tail end of the pandemic, I guess?
Yeah, you know, she and I have a lot in common. More than I thought. We fight like cat and dogs, but we love each other.
Sure.
But she has to follow her heart and her dreams, and she chases horizons just like me.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Sure.
So she came down here, hell or high water. So.
Cool. Well, we're actually on your mom's boat. So she has
Yes.
a houseboat here in the marina. And you invited us to come over. I said we needed a place that was quiet to do our interview.
Mhm.
And you said, well, we got a couple options. And so this was one. And I thought this would be a cool setting. We've never done an interview on a boat, so
Right.
or on a houseboat, let alone any kind of boat. But anyway, we appreciate the chance to sit down with you. So let's talk, Tennee, about your musical career. You just mentioned, we talked a little bit before we started, you didn't pick up the guitar till you were about 18, or you started with a ukulele.
Yes. So I've been singing my entire life. Came out of the hospital singing.
Okay.
And I grew up singing in gospel Pentecostal churches. But when I was 18, I was in a car accident and I was in a coma for 2 weeks.
Oh my goodness.
I know, it's crazy things happen to me. And I woke up and I had to learn how to use the left side of my body again.
Wow.
And somebody gifted me a ukulele, and from ukulele I graduated to guitar eventually. So
Cool, cool. Well, you play well, and you have a beautiful voice, and you have a very unique talent. So let's talk about what really got you into the music. What inspired you musically? Who inspired you musically?
I would say the women of the Delta Blues are just my biggest inspiration. Memphis Minnie, like Ma Rainey, those women. Memphis Minnie joined the circus when she was a teenager and was like
Okay.
on the road from a teenager, and just she would have somebody in her band be her husband.
Okay.
And he'd be in the band, but once they'd get a divorce, he was out of a job. It's just really strong women in music.
Sure,
So.
sure. Well, you not only did she inspire you musically, but she kind of inspired your gypsy nature, right? Your gypsy,
Yeah.
your wanderlust, if you will. So,
Oh yeah, yep.
so did her story inspire you as far as the travel part of it too?
Yeah, most definitely that. I've had a longing for, the horizon since I don't know when.
Sure.
So
Well, I think it's always, what's on the other side of the horizon? What's on the other side of the highway or that mountain, right?
Right.
It's always intriguing to know, and you've been a little bit of a gypsy. You've wandered around the country quite a bit. Mentioned that you've been we're in Key West, as far south as you can go in the United States,
Mhm.
90 miles from Cuba. You just got home from Costa Rica, you said?
I did. I solo traveled to Costa Rica, hung out in Jaco, caught a wave. It was amazing.
So you solo traveled there. You didn't go with someone, and did you know anyone down there?
No, not at all. I was just
You have
going.
you are a gypsy.
Well, there's something about it being out there in the unknown, and just, and I sometimes in my life I just have to get rid of everything and have nothing and just be out there. It's definitely a rush.
Sure.
So
Sure. Well, so let's talk about your travels, because your travels have taken you places. Obviously, it's had some influence on your music as well.
Yes.
So it's given you stories to write about,
Mhm.
places that you've lived and places that you visited and the people you've met. But you just throw all caution to the wind and pack your bags and go, huh?
Yep. It's very powerful for me. It's empowering, just to be able to walk away from everything completely. And it also changes perspective, right? Because when you're in a place, you've got all of these issues or miscommunications or wonderful things, and it just gives you a second to be complete somewhere where none of that exists. So
So you just have to be dependent on yourself and others as well. I'm sure you depend on the kindness of others and people. We talked about that. You ended up in Idaho and worked for some people up there, and they gave you a place to hang out and food to eat and a place to lay your head at night.
Yeah. I actually one of the trains I hopped out of Whitefish, Montana, going through the longest train tunnel in America, it rolled through Bonners Ferry, Idaho. And I just happened into this cafe where I met this woman and her son, and they saw me and they were like, "Hey, do you hop trains?" And I was like, "Why? Who's asking?" And she was like, "Well, we host people. We have a woofing farm is what they call it."
What is a woofing farm?
It stands for Worldwide Organic Farming or something.
Okay.
And they host people. You go on the farm and you work a couple of hours on the farm pulling weeds, not anything serious. And you get to stay there and you get to eat all the food you want. And usually they bring you to cool places in the area. So it's a great way to travel on a budget.
Fun. And obviously, I'm sure you spent some time entertaining them as well as the other people there and maybe people in town. You find some gigs while you're out there on the road like that?
Oh, always. Sometimes I'll just roll into a town and I'll busk wherever I'm at. And
sure.
People will be like, "Wow, you sound really good. You should come to my bar." So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we were talking earlier, you're getting ready to go to Canada, to Nova Scotia,
yes,
this summer, and so you're now. Are you gonna work your way all the way from Key West up the eastern seaboard? Is that your plan?
So I'm partial to my Appalachian mountains, so
okay.
I'm probably gonna. I keep it loose when it comes to plans, because if I'm really like, oh, it has to go exactly to plan, nothing ever goes as planned. So
sure.
But I'm going back up to Johnson City. I've got a show in Orlando, some shows in Roan Mountain, Tennessee, and then one in North Carolina. That one's by the coast, so it's wherever the wind takes me.
Sure. But you do have a date in mind to be in Nova Scotia this summer at some point. Is that?
I don't have a date specific.
Okay.
Some point this summer, I will be there.
You'll be there. Okay. Okay. Cool. So let's talk more about the music. So. You're all self-taught on the guitar?
I am. I'm very self-taught. I was just at home with my computer and started teaching myself things. So
yeah. Well, I tell everybody, we talked before we started, I started playing again. I picked up the guitar at 14 or 15. I don't remember exactly. Well, I was a freshman in high school. And I decided I wanted to be, I'm an Idaho farm boy that always wanted to be a cowboy, right? Mm-hmm. So I picked up a guitar and a rope at the same time. And I opted for the rope, and I rodeoed and trained horses and lived that lifestyle for
really?
many years. Yeah. And we've lived in Arizona and California and Texas and I went to horseshoeing school in Oklahoma. And I'm a little bit of a gypsy myself, but not quite like you. I've always had a plan, ultimately, where I was going, what I was going to do, for the most part. Mm-hmm. But we, Miss Shanda and I moved 11 times the first 5 years we were married. So about every 6 months, we'd pick up and move somewhere and do something. But we've been really, really lucky and done a lot of cool things and learned a lot of stuff. So, but I've always loved music, and we've loved music. Miss Shanda grew up in a house full of music. Her mother was a songwriter in Arizona. We always had music in our home, but there's no musical talent in our family, in my family. Shanda's family's the other way, but she didn't get that from her mom like her sister did, so she doesn't play any instruments. But our children we're very musical family. We love music. And so we've been here to Mile Zero Fest, the music festival I have here in January, and all over the country. Wherever we go, we've sought out live music. So when I found myself suddenly and unexpectedly retired in July of 24, our daughter said, "Dad, what are you going to do?" And I said, "I don't know." And she said, "Well, I think you and Mom ought to start a podcast." And she wanted it to be all about travel and all these. She had this big, broad idea, but tied to the music. But I said, well, I want to be very music focused. So that's what we did. But this morning, we actually made a video. We drove down around the island and shared some of what we know about the history of Key West. We love Key West and the history. Hemingway, the Hemingway House,
great.
Truman White House, the Jimmy Buffett, some of the great writers that lived here besides Hemingway and Tom McGuane. I don't know if you know who Tom is, but Tom's wife is actually Jimmy Buffett's sister. So
Wow.
So anyway, just some really cool stuff that we know about it, and some of the local iconic places to go. So when you texted me this morning, we were waiting outside Blue Heaven for breakfast. So you got to go to Blue Heaven.
Yeah, I've played Blue Heaven sometimes. It's a great place, and Andy's Cabana across the street.
Yep.
My favorite spot.
And they had live music in both places this morning, so
Yep.
we got to hear a little bit. In fact, the first song the guy at Andy's Cabana played was "L.A. Freeway" by Guy Clark, which is one of my favorites. So is there any specific songwriters that have really influenced you?
Yes. Well, they're not as well known, but I love Kat Clyde.
Okay.
She's a Canadian musician. She's just her soul really inspires me. She's got more of like a soulful flair, and then of course the wonderful Sierra Farrell is one of my.
Gotta love Sierra Farrell. You
yeah.
remind me a little of Sierra Farrell. You have a little of the same look, and yeah.
Yeah, I get that, and we have both traveled in that sort of way. So
yes,
a lot of people tell me that.
Have you met her?
I have not. I'm not, and it's funny because a lot of people that I know have met her, and we just sort of passed each other by. I think she's a little bit older than me.
Okay.
So
I don't know how old she'd be, but I interviewed a songwriter. He's from Florida originally, but he lives in Montana now, a guy by the name of Sterling Drake, and he lived in Nashville and knew Sierra when he was there.
Yeah.
And they got to hang and actually were really good friends, and so it was kind of fun to hear those stories.
It's funny that you say that. I actually, I have a song. I hope one day I get to play it for her. There's something about Nashville boys.
Oh, yeah?
There's something about it, and they're all down here right now for the Songwriters Fest. But I've been to Nashville so many times, and every time I go, I regret hanging out with the Nashville boys.
Because they kind of steal a little piece of your heart, do they?
Well, they steal a little piece of my heart, and then they vanish.
Oh, no.
You know, so I've written a song about that, and this one specific one knew Sierra Farrell and would not, like, he knew that I liked her, so it was just name dropping it all over me, and then he just was a complete but.
And then he disappeared.
Yeah, well.
Miss Shanda said that Sierra is 37. So that's what she does behind the scenes.
Yes.
Feeds us information. So, so she is a little bit older than you, because you said you got this guitar a couple years ago when you were 28 on your birthday. So that tells me you're right about 30.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I can do math.
Woo.
Well, any other artists that you've really looked up to?
Lost Dog Street Band, really anything. There's an entire culture of music within the traveling hobo community.
Okay.
Right. There's a lot. There's this stuff called folk punk, which it's very folky, but also there's an ongoing joke, but like within the folk punk community, that it sounds like garbage cans clinging together. And it's like, here, this is great, you should hear it, and it's just garbage cans.
Oh my goodness.
But I mean, it's banjos and just and of course bluegrass and folk, Joni Mitchell.
Oh yeah.
You know, the old ones, the Bob Dylan.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
So
well, he's had such an impact on the music world. Yes, Miss Producer.
Jade Marie.
Oh, yeah, Jade Marie Patek, who's an artist we've had on the podcast. She lives in New Braunfels, Texas, and she does Bobby McGee, a version of Bobby McGee that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So, but I mean,
right, and Janice.
I mean, yeah, you got to throw Janice in there, right? But well, so is there anybody that besides maybe Sierra Farrell. What I like to ask these couple questions. One is there a venue, you have a favorite venue where you love to play? And then what venue would you dream of playing?
So I think if I'm in Key West, any of the venues on Petronia Street.
Okay.
I just love Petronia Street with Blue Heaven and Andy's Cabana. I feel like that's where you're gonna find, and there's a bungalow upstairs above Blue Heaven.
Yeah.
And my friend Jesse Cottonstone plays there a lot. He's a blues guitarist. But that street in general, I love the real music, the less commercialized music, the like, oh, this isn't the same cover that I've heard a million different times.
Right.
You know, so I love Petronia Street because of that.
Okay.
I feel like that's where the real artists go. And I need to take that back. Everybody here is a real artist. Yes. I better watch myself. I did not mean it that way, but
but it's unprocessed, I guess. It's more.
Yes.
Everybody has their authentic, right? Their authentic self.
Very authentic. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then I think the Gray Eagle in Asheville. I love Asheville. I'm partial to it.
Asheville,
North Carolina.
North Carolina, that's what I was going to say. Okay.
Yeah, and there's also the Down Home in Johnson City. So I frequent those places a lot.
Okay. Is there a venue that you would love to play and that you would aspire to play?
I am aspiring this year. I'm like, last year I went to Big Sky Music Festival.
Yep.
And I saw Tyler Childers and Wyona Judd. And I'm like, that year I was like, I'm going to stop focusing on other people and focus on my art.
Sure.
And I'm going to come back and play this. So that's
cool.
That's
a goal. Yeah.
And that festival is so cool because they have a rodeo going on.
Right.
And these boots right here, these are my mama's barrel racing boots.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, you know what? That's really cool. Anytime you can tie. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but there's a deal called the Hondo Rodeo. And the Hondo started, the first one they had it 2 years ago in Phoenix. And then they had the second one this last year in Phoenix. But they just had one in Nashville, or excuse me, New Orleans. Mm-hmm. And it's a rodeo and music fest together.
Yeah.
So it's an invitational. We've been very involved in the rodeo world. Miss Shanda works for Stetson Clothing Company during the National Finals Rodeo. She has for 18 years, and they actually sponsor one of our sponsors of the podcast. And so we're very partial to Stetson and Roper and Tin Hall, those brands of Western clothing and boots. And we have lots and lots of friends in the industry. And so, but we had the opportunity to go to the Hondo last October in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm. In February of 27, they'll be in Tampa.
They are going to be in Tampa, yes. The Hondo is having, so they're kind of moving around the country. But it's invitational, so they bring in the top 8 in each event. So they do barrel racing, they do team roping, calf roping, steer wrestling, bull riding. The bull riders, they bring in 12, because I think they bring in 6 from the PBR and 6 from the NFR. And then they bring team roping, calf roping, steer wrestling. But anyway, and then they have music, right? So 3 days. They have an opening concert and then a big headliner.
That's so good.
They've had breakaway and barrel racing. Yeah, I said barrels, but I forgot about breakaway. But anyway, they've kind of tied it together, and it's really a cool deal, a cool event. So it's really turned into something. But anyway, but Cheyenne has live music.
Oh, I love Cheyenne.
Cheyenne Rodeo Frontier Days is awesome. Pendleton has live music. Mm-hmm. So does Calgary Stampede. All those big rodeos. Houston, Austin, San Antonio, they all have live music to go with them too. So anyway, there's some great music, but it's always fun to tie that together, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so, definitely.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the other questions I like to ask is, if you could work with anyone, okay, this is a 2-part question, dead and then alive.
Ooh, okay. Alive. It's a hard one. There's just so many good ones.
Sure.
I have multiple people that are alive that I would... there's just so many. Bonnie Raitt, obviously Sierra Farrell,
Sure.
Wynonna Judd, Tyler Childers.
Sure.
Those are, to name a few. Dead, any Delta blues artist, but I think my favorite, I would love to meet her, is Memphis Minnie.
Okay.
She's just something about her and her songs I just really connect with. I feel like she wrote them about me back in the 1920s.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
So.
Okay. Well, that's cool. That's cool. This episode is brought to you by Tin Hall, Western style with an edge, bold design, fearless attitude, and boots that make a statement. Discounts available when you click our sponsor link at musicalmilespodcast.com. So, you're gonna, when are you headed north?
Well, I have a show in Orlando on the 10th
of May.
Yes.
Oh, wow. So soon.
Oh, yeah. But I've been here since December. So
you about wore out your welcome in Key West, have you?
Right. That's so funny because I always say, I'm like, I got to go before you find out.
Yeah. Well, it's always nice to have a place to land, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always a soft place to land. You can come home and be with mom. And you said now you have a brother as well?
I do. He's up in Brooklyn. He's a playwright and an actor. So he's pretty great.
So your mom raised a couple of creative kids, huh?
Well, she's also plays the keys,
fun.
Was the choir director. I used to, be up until 4 a.m. listening to her band play.
Uh-huh.
And we lived in Pensacola, and she had a band called Talkin' Rock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So.
Cool. Well, that's cool. Well, all right. Any other stories you want to share with us before we skin out of here?
Well, I think probably my coolest story is it's kind of funny because I told you I like to consider myself the girl with the golden thumb.
Okay.
Because I mean, when I want to put down some miles and I'm determined, there ain't nothing going to stop me. And there's these things for hitchhiking that I live by. It's almost spiritual for me, where I'm like, okay, if there's somebody out there that I'm supposed to meet, and they're supposed to meet me, and it's going to be an exchange of energies. And I got so caught up into seeing this guy and that I was not listening to my intuition. I was just, I'm going to go meet up with him, right? And I was leaving Pittsburgh, and I caught a ride out of there. I hitched to Columbus, Ohio. I had a great night, met some people that had me play a show there. The next morning, I was just so gung-ho, gotta get to this guy that I'm in love with. And, which is not how it should go, but younger me was like, go, go, go. So I was outside of Columbus, Ohio, just on the outskirts of the Skitty City. Mm-hmm. And I started going, and my friend had just gifted me this big knife and some zip ties. And my dog here, I always try to hitchhike with her having a service vest on because it makes her look a little less threatening.
Sure.
But her buckle had broken on the vest. So I had it in my mind that I was going to take that knife and I was going to put a hole through that strap and use the zip tie to reconnect it. So I'm on the side of the interstate and I've got this big utility knife I had no business using. And I'm just like, and I cut my thumb open on the side of the interstate, and I was just like, okay. I was like, okay, the first thing you got to do is just don't panic. So I went through that process of not panicking and wrapped up my finger in some shorts and ended up going to the gas station, finding a ride to the hospital, and I got 10 stitches in my thumb. You can see my permanent.
Yeah.
But I still managed from the hospital. I walked all the way back to the interstate and caught a ride all the way to Louisville. And in Louisville, I met my demise when my crush, the love of my life, said, "Oh, I can't meet you."
Oh no.
But ain't that how it works? It makes a good story. Sometimes you just got to do it for the plot.
Yeah, well, you're one of these days you're going to be able to write you a great story. You know,
Yeah.
I love we listened to A Pirate Turns 50, the Jimmy Buffett book that he wrote.
Yeah.
And didn't he write another one? Joe Merchant or something was another book topic that he was writing. And I think he finished that one. But anyway, it takes adventures, right? To have some stories to tell.
Right.
And I will tell you this, I don't know how your mother handles you being on the road like that, because it would drive this one over here crazy.
Oh,
because
yeah,
she mothers everyone, right? We get to Nashville and, you know, it's the woo-woo girls, you know, it's all the bachelorette parties going around town, and she's wanting to go, now you girls stay together. Don't let anybody put anything in your drink.
Oh, yeah, my mom's about the same way. And
yesterday, actually, there was a bachelor party, and I was lecturing them about staying together.
The bachelors?
The bachelors.
Oh, my goodness.
Joe's.
Oh, at Sloppy
Remember,
Joe's.
They invited me, and I said, no.
Oh.
No.
Yeah.
I said, I'm old enough to be maybe your grandma, and I'm going over there to my husband, and it's okay. But you stay together. Don't leave anyone behind.
No man left behind. No girl left behind.
Well, yeah, my mama she prays for me a lot. Let's just say that.
I'm sure she does.
But
have you had any scary experiences being on the road like that?
I have had one that, well, I've had a couple where I was like, I do not need to get in this ride. No way. And I've had to refuse a ride because you always want to refuse a ride. Never get too quick. But at one point, I did get really quick. I was mad at one of my friends because we were inside a restaurant and she was being mean to the server. So I was like, I don't need this. So I was like, I was in her car traveling east, but I was like, I can do this by myself. I'm leaving. So I was in the middle of Amarillo, like started walking on the interstate trying to get east. And I get on the interstate and within like 5 minutes I get a ride, which when you're in the middle of a city, you get a ride quickly. That's like, wow, that's crazy. Almost too good to be true.
Right.
I was like, yeah, this is what happens when you use the power of positive thinking. Well, I got out of that ride. He takes me to he's like, I can only get you so far. So he takes me to this 20 minutes down the road to this gas station. I get out at this Pilot. And as soon as I get out of that truck, this other car pulls up to me, like almost like clockwork.
Right.
Just like, all right, get into this ride now. Out of that truck, into this truck. Should have been a big red flag.
Sure.
But I was so like, oh, this is my ride because it's the power.
Yes.
Yeah, the universe is conspiring for me. Here we go. I get in the ride. And thankfully, I have my big dog, right? Because I get in this ride, it's this big man, like something out of a Stephen King serial killer movie, right? And you know me, when I'm in a ride, I'm like, hi, how are you? Yeah, and he's just like, mm-hmm. And we're on the 10 outside of Amarillo now, in the middle of the desert, going east, and it's hot, so hot. And it's daytime, right? It's like 12, and he's just like, I've been driving all day. I want to get a hotel, and you can stay in the room with me. And I was like, no, right? And there's a rule of thumb, and nobody tell anybody my secrets, but when you're hitching, sometimes it pays to be crazy.
Okay.
Or at least be perceived as crazy.
Sure.
So I'll just start talking. Like, I'm like, oh, wow. And this one time when I was in Seattle and I was on the street, I had to stab this guy because he wouldn't stop when I told him to stop, right? And that never happened. That never happened. But I'm just going on and on because I need this guy to be scared of me.
Right.
Just the right amount to let me out of his car.
Sure.
Right. So he ended up letting me out at the gas station. Thankfully, because I was like, no, you could go to your hotel. I'm okay. And my big dog, she'll she'll protect me.
Sure.
She's my guardian angel. But I got out of the gas station. I actually had some cops come and help me with my next ride, and they were like, "Look, we're really worried about you out here because there's a lot of sex trafficking going on."
Oh.
And the truth of what had just happened just sort of revealed itself, and I was like, "Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to be more aware, more intuitively responsible. I can't just be toxically optimistic all of the time."
Sure.
Right? So that was a lesson, but I dodged that one and I stayed protected. And, a lot of it is faith.
Sure.
But, you do have to have a little bit.
Yeah, be careful out there. I know that, your mom's got to worry about you, and we would worry about you. And so, but anyway, well, those are some cool stories. One other question I wanted to ask you as we were talking about this made me think, is there anyone that you have met in your travels that has just really become an influence in your life and an anchor for you?
Oh, yeah. My best friend and road dog for life, Stephanie. I met her when I was 19 in Ocean Beach. We were both hitchhiking around, and we were just living out, and I was sleeping on the cliffs, drinking whiskey and rambling. And this, I'm a little bit more reserved now, y'all. But she came up, I was playing my guitar, and she came up with her hula hoop and just started dancing with me. And we traveled together, and we hitchhiked to Slab City on New Year's Eve that day together with a space bag of wine, going down the interstate with her thumbs out. The sun was going down, and as the sun was going down, a trucker pulled over and brought us into Slab City at the very last minute. I don't know. Slab City is a really cool spot. You should look into it if you don't know.
Where's Slab City?
It's by the Inland Sea in Southern California.
Okay.
It's where Alexander Supertramp goes and Into the Wild. If you've ever read or seen that movie. Mm-hmm. It's a big art exhibit. It's like a free land kind of spot. But they have a show there, and me and Stephanie have been road dogs ever since. She lives in Oregon, but I'm going to see her probably soon. So
cool. Well, Tennee, thank you so much. This has been fun. You're a great gal, great personality. Love your music. Love your talent. Do you have music out on any streaming platforms?
I do. I have 4 songs out right now. They are on Spotify under Tennee Jones. Good is Gone.
Cool. Do you have do you have social media that they can follow you on?
The Instagram is almost where I post most of my stuff, and I'm in TikTok and YouTube. Tennee, I spell it Tennee, like Tennessee Jones.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, Tennee, thank you so much. It's been fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It has been fun.
And if you make it out our way, you have my number now. You know how to get a hold of us. If you make it back to Southern Idaho, don't call me when you're in Bonners Ferry, because I can't come rescue you. But if you're in Southeast Idaho, anywhere between Bozeman, Montana, and Salt Lake City, Utah, we're not that far away.
Oh, certainly. And well, now I'm slightly retired. I've got a van. I've got, the setup. So
Sure. Well, cool. Well, it's great to meet you, and thanks again for taking time to sit down with us and share your music and your stories. And we look forward to following you and seeing you somewhere down the road.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening and coming by.
All right. Hey, for Musical Miles Podcast, I'm your host, Byron Duffin, here with Tennee Jones. We'll see you somewhere down the road. Adios for now.